Welcome back. It's time now for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me now is Banríon Capital Management CEO Shana Sissel. Also with us is Chris McMahon this morning. Shana, thanks so much for joining the conversation. Good to see you. Chris, I want to kick things off with you with the story of the moment, and that, of course, is tariffs and investment in America. We got President Trump announcing $100 billion investment from Taiwan Semiconductor for 5 new U.S. chip plants, bringing the company's total American investments to $165 billion. Here's President Trump yesterday.
This will create hundreds of billions of dollars in economic activity and boost America's dominance in artificial intelligence and beyond. Semiconductors are the backbone of the 21st century economy, and really, without the semiconductors, there is no economy. Powering everything from AI to automobiles to advanced manufacturing, and we must be able to build the chips and semiconductors that we need right here in American factories with American skill and American labor.
You know, I mean, Chris, President Trump understands that we cannot rely on our #1 adversary for things like our pharmaceuticals.
Sure. It's unbelievable. I mean, he sees a problem.
And semiconductor chip.
Exactly. Drones and everything else that we're having these problems with over the years, right? It's amazing. But I think, Maria, it's great news. There's almost $3 trillion of investments, according to my math, and I think Nvidia will be next. I think you're right. They're all going to get in line and come forward. We do have to get over this problem, though. GDP, negative GDP is a problem, right? Flattening GDP. And then also the other issue is going to be, what about inflation? These will impact the market over the next 6 months. You know, in our firm, we were kind of focused on value retailers in the first half of the year, saying that was a great opportunity. We're reevaluating that now because if these tariffs are real, if they're not simply tactical, this could create a real problem in the short run for the market. Although long term, frankly, the things he's doing are so strategic that I think long term we're very comfortable with the direction we're heading.
So do you want to step away, raise cash, not invest in equities right now until you've got more clarity on the impact of these tariffs? Is that what you're saying?
I can't say that, Maria, only because things happen so quickly in the Trump world, right? It's 100 days. Right. It feels like it's 100 months. And I think what we're going to see is as soon as Zelensky signs this agreement, as soon as some of these tactical tariffs maybe are dialed back a little bit, and this could be in days, not months. I think I would stay fully invested right now. I think I'd probably pull back a little bit on my allocation towards technology, specifically get more to a traditional allocation of technology, and then I think be ready to probably re-enter that market as quickly as possible.
Well, I mean, speaking of technology, Shana, look what happened to Nvidia yesterday, down better than 8% on the session, closing at the lowest level since September. You know, look, I think this is about tariffs and the tariff threat, because yes. Nvidia, if it has to start paying tariffs, it's going to have to seriously think about designing those chips in America as opposed to Taiwan. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Nvidia's new Blackwell chip is reaching China through third-party buyers by using entities registered in nearby regions and therefore defying U.S. export restrictions. Authorities in Singapore arrested 3 people charged with smuggling servers containing Nvidia chips. Shana, your reaction?
Yeah, so it's not just Singapore. It appears that the source of this operation is in Malaysia. And I think the reason we saw the stock pull back is because there's concerns that this type of activity will result in greater export controls and restrictions on Nvidia in Asia, as broadly speaking, not just in China. So that's a major concern, as even though China has become less and less of a component of Nvidia revenues, the rest of Asia is broadly very important. As you pointed out, they do produce many of their chips in Taiwan. So having increased export restrictions in that area of the world would not be good for Nvidia. But as Chris pointed out, a lot of these things are strategic, and they're deal-making tools that President Trump is using in an attempt to get some of our adversaries and some of our quote-unquote friends to fall in line and do things that are going to be supportive not just for America, but also for our border control and things of that nature. So I think that the stock pulling back is a buying opportunity. I don't think it's a long-term concern. There's a 15-to-1 demand to supply ratio for the Blackwell chips, and there's indications that DeepSeek might even be leveraging Nvidia chips to produce its own AI. So yeah, that's all positive for Nvidia, and this is a good entry point, I think.
I mean, think about that. 90% of advanced semiconductor chips are made in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, think about that. I mean, these advanced semiconductor chips are needed for the U.S. military, for important technology. I mean, all for progress and protection of the United States. Chris, how are you going to leave 90% of advanced semiconductor chips made in Taiwan? I don't think you as the president, you can't have that stand.
Maria,
You got to move to change that.
Absolutely. You got to admire him for doing it, because everyone else turned a blind eye to it, said it's okay, and what happens in Taiwan, it's going to be fine. It's a good trade partner. This is leadership. This is taking control of the problem for military, for everything, for industrial, for our economy. Even if it causes short-term pain, the reality is it is the right decision.
Right. All right. We will leave it there. Shana, come back soon. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Shana Sissel.
See you.
Chris, you're with us all morning, and we're grateful. We're going to take a short break, and we've got a lot coming up on the other side of this, so stay with us. We'll be right back.